Alright folks, welcome to this episode. Today you join us in the middle of a storm, we could call it. But once again, we're in the Honda Jazz here and we're away to go on a crazy adventure. Today we're joined by the Channel DJ once again, of course. And shout out to the Channel DJ for finding this location one day. It's a unique World War Two airfield by the looks of it. And it's near the town of Fordoun, just north of Lawrence Kirk on the east of Scotland here. And yeah, World War Two airfield. So we're going for a little explore. Right now we're parked on the old runway you can see out there. You could probably imagine the old like Spitfires and Hurricanes and stuff. It looks like this has been a pretty big like airfield, so to speak. But yeah, there's the wind, there's outside folks. Check what we're dealing with. And to the landowner, once again, we always come with the greatest of respects. And this is obviously farmers' lands and fields and stuff, but we are just here to record the World War Two history and what's left of it, and maybe share it with the next generation. So if it does fall down or get kind of knocked down for any reason, you can see how it used to be from a time gone by. It's crazy, like the amount of work they went to for World War Two and stuff, the defence of the countries, and the size of these airfields is mind-blowing, folks. So today we're going to go around here with respect to the landowner and record as much as we can here. Look at this folks, this is the first artefact of history and it seems to be like a bunker. Look at this folks, this here, just think, built World War Two. Look at this, I just about to put my hand onto that there. This is insane scenes right here. It's a millipede. It's just conquering gravity. Anyway folks, back to World War Two. Look at it, it's a way to go into that hole. That's where they live, between the rocks in this structure. It just shows it's a habitat for wildlife. Originally built World War Two. Defensive structure, and look at this folks here. Wow. I do have this small torch. Look at the way it's built here with this cement. Kind what it is almost like. It's like this here has been like an air raid shelter kind of section in the middle. Total strobe and stuff on the doors here folks, that's crazy. Right folks, we're going to retake this entrance into this bunker because the light with that other torch is just no use. Look at this, the clips here for the electrical wiring is still on the wall. That's the sort of little hints of history that we love. And then look at the arch here in the cement. I believe this middle bit is like a kind of an air raid shelter, which is a universal thing. You would see it a lot of air fields and stuff. Yeah. And then they've built the brick entryway into it, which is incredible. Wow. And then look, the insane thing, that could be where the wire was coming to. Look, there's a bit of World War Two wood still on the roof. Look, the old bayonet fitting there. Wow, crazy old light. The cable's still hanging there for it. This is insane folks, it's like a tunnel, but it must be an air raid shelter type of setup, or who knows? We can explore and ask the question of history folks. Look at this. Do you think that's been a drain, or do you think they've been using it for like a toilet? Yeah. Here we are folks, there's another entrance. This is strange the way there's three entrances.
Well, I'm thinking that we are way to
aye. Yeah, this could have been actually into another building here, which is true. Yeah, because see the way the cement's on the ground here? And then there's a lot of stuff here. Yeah, it looks like this airfield has been a massive airfield. Yeah, there's so much wind around here folks. We can only apologise for the wind and the audio folks. We're literally out here on these adventures in like the craziest of conditions. Check this. Wood on the roof here. Yeah, it's cool to video all the little details like that, because I just about missed that. It's like there's been another light mounted here outside this. So it's likely to have had doors and stuff on that tunnel. So there we are, folks, that's the first cool building in here, and we'll go and have a look at this little entrance this way. Look at this. Wow, look at the shape of the stone. I'm pretty sure they had like a door on there, it was like a steel door, and the way it operated, it was shaped like that, so if there was a blast, it always fell shut. It never would like blow open at any time, if you know what I mean, folks. And it's crazy the way this ridge of land goes here. It's like there has been a building, and then the entrance is into this shelter kind of bit's been at the side of it. Maybe even a hangar or something down here. They might have been maintaining planes or working on planes and stuff. Yeah, because I think out that way would have been into the hangar or whatever if there had been one. I'll just wipe the lens, folks. It's crazy the conditions. Insane, folks. It's always so cool to keep recording these new places, and you always think you'll run out of places to go, and it's like, this is just here in the countryside, wasting away. Kind of the weather and stuff every year is just taking effect.
Yeah, it's coming off everywhere.
Yeah, it's all just chipping away. Crazy scenes. All that'll just fall off. The whole thing will eventually probably just get made back into a field, kind of an area like this. There has been a little glass dome on here or something at one time, a lampshade. And then on the roof you see how they've poured it with the cement onto the boards, the wooden shuttering. And yeah, folks, this is the entrance we came in a minute ago, but you can see maybe this side there's been a hangar as well. See, there's maybe been double hangar, and then this has been a bit of a shelter, or even just the entrance way into it. Crazy history, folks. I'll switch my torch off now that I've come out of there, though. It's amazing getting to see this, folks, and just think these like stones and stuff were laid in here in the 1940s. A lot of these were built in early 40s, early to mid 40s. Wow. The railway leads right up there. The main East Coast rail line to this day goes right past here. You'd probably be able to see this from the train window if you just looked at the right moment. Anyway, there's more buildings down here, so I think we're away to go and just have a little look around and see what we can see. Document the history, folks. Look at this, folks, on the concrete of the floor it's got these, and I'm not sure if they would have like tied planes or something down, would they have? Look at that, folks, big massive metal bits sticking out, and you can see they've been put in separate with like that square onto this, the face of this. Crazy, folks, little nuggets of history like that. It's obviously been there for a reason, for the airfield, or you never know what could have been here though. There could have been masts or anything, kind of radio communications, little buildings, generator sheds, hangars, and loads of other military, like airfield related places. Sometimes you got like a 2-story building which was like the control tower, and other airfields also had like a command bunker, like the one I visited at the Schoon Airfield. It's got like a slit right around the outside. Anyway, on with this adventure, folks. Crazy scenes of history. So we just came up to this end to explore and see what's going on here, but this seems to be some like offshore coming in now that's got this bit of land. So the runway does continue, but it looks like everything's been demolished. But we are just saying how crazy long this runway is. For some reason this runway has been incredibly long, because it just goes literally like more than a mile straight in front of us there. It's insane. Like that last building we looked at is over there at the side. So yeah, we're away to head down to see some more, but like I just thought it's worth mentioning. I don't know if they had bombers or something landing and taking off here, or for some reason the runway is just miles long, like maybe 2 miles in this straight, and then it curves around. Insane, folks. Anyway, on with this adventure. It's so windy, I didn't really record it over the top of that hill. It's just winter scenes, folks. Look at this, folks. This is the next ancient historical wonder at this air raid. Not air raid, what was it called? Airfield. It's so cool here, folks. There's obviously some farm storage going on here, but like, and here's some World War Two history. Look, there's been buildings here. There still is a little building by the looks of things. And then check this crazy structure out here. Look at the erosion on these stones, and that shows you like the time that's passed since this was a building in use. Wow. What a place, folks. Yeah, this must have been a generator shed or a power. Check this out, folks. They must have had like the generators or whatever here for running airfield, maybe runway lights and communications and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure when you see plinths like this with the cement and then like the studs and stuff, that is normally where they've had generators and stuff mounted, or big heavy equipment mounted anyway. But it is strange they've got two identical. It's like there's been a double generator or something like that. Not unless, I wouldn't have thought they would have had like a substation mounted on there. An electrical substation of some sort. Like, I think some of these buildings were like identical at different airfields. Often you got the same buildings, the same structure, so it was easier for them to build all the stuff kind of rapidly at the start of the war. And it is asbestos sheeting on the roof, but it's crazy to see the old metal frame up there. And it's crazy, wobbling about. Yeah, it's just unfortunate it's so windy today for the audio, but it is so cool that we can keep just sharing this history on these videos. Any weather. Look at it here, there's been more history here. There's been something bolted up. Check out, folks, imagine what that's been at one time. There's actually 4 big bolts here in a rectangle. So maybe there's been like a control box or something. Oh look, there's a bit of graffiti. That could have been there from the time of when this got built. Somebody's written T up there. I remember at the Stracathro airfield we found graffiti with names and stuff on the cement.
That's the same.
Which at one time, oh maybe they put a T, this is it then, folks. That'll be a T they've put on so they know it's the top. Because potentially those lintel stones aren't like symmetrical. So the T will be top. Because both of them have got it on both doors. So interesting. Maybe they're slightly curved or something, and once the weight's on them they level out. Insane, folks. We can see the old runway through the hole in the wall. That's the old runway leading right out along there. And it's like there's been something mounted up here on the roof, look. Maybe electrical cables or something, or some of that stuff. And look, the walls have had like a cement face over them at one time. A cement veneer. Crazy. Oh look at this, there's been like remains of some brackets up here. Yeah, it looks like there's been some heavy doors on this building. Because that one's the same, the other door's identical. Look at that, folks, it's like they've busted the door off and it's somehow broken out the bricks. Because it seems to be around the hinges there, it's totally broken out. And look, there's been something up here. Is there a light or something up there? And then there is a cement area here, it's almost as if there's been more like history at this side. And there's potentially been another building here. Because look at this, folks, this is something interesting. Look, it's got the 2 wire, must be wire holes there going in. That's the kind of history we love. It's actually less windy around here. And you wouldn't have thought that considering we're more like out in the open here. Wow. Structures like this, they've got so much character. Once they start to degrade and fall down, it just looks insane. So there we go, I've just gotten a couple of photographs of this. I always like to just do that as well, so if and you can often document more of the history with some pictures as well as the video. Every year this stuff's just degrading more and more. You can see the walls here, folks. I do apologise at this point for the wind once again. Check it out, there's actually a small building here it looks like we might be able to get in. Check this out, folks. Real World War Two history right here. Wow. This is insane. No way, folks. Look, it's another one of those massive mounts. We'll have to come around. We'll have to come in the door. But look at this on the roof. This has actually got some massive brackets here, which look like they've been for some sort of pipes or something. That is insane, folks. And look what they've used for the rebar in this concrete. Insane. What a spot this is. Oh, it's look, they've had bitumen and stuff on the roof, folks. And then look, they've also had, look at that there. It's had like a vent thing on it. This is so cool, folks. Real history. It's so crazy the amount of work they went to in the war to build stuff like this. Crazy, just like big structures. Most of this thing's been taken down, but again, you can see on the ground how there's been so much at one time. Because look, there's even cement areas here and stuff, which are from the wartime era. And look, this has had the same big doors as the other building. With those crazy hinges. See, what has this been? Get in the comments, folks, if you know about the military like bases and what they might have had standard like generators or something which mounted on things like this. See, this is more likely to be the generator shed than that other one that we saw. Because that thing that we saw maybe was for something else. Who would even know, folks? Get in the comments if you know. But this is a higher roof and a stronger roof. Check these brackets out, too. Crazy scenes, folks, right there. World War Two history, like you wouldn't even know what they were doing with that.
Handcuffed into prisoners.
Oh, no, unless there had been an exhaust bracket or something here. Could the exhaust have maybe gone somewhere here or?
Ah, but they're all facing that way, eh?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this is rare, folks. All these brackets are solid, and they've always been facing that way as well. Crazy history, folks. This is what we love. Asking the question often about the thing, uncovering something that we didn't know before. And it has had these big like air intakes or good ventilation. And this has been a massive beast of a plinth. Look, there's the washer still lying there. Oh no, it's no been for this, look, there's no fat. And so that's what we love to see, folks, real history. And like, so I'm, oh look, is that something on the ground? A pipe going down.
This is what just broke it.
Oh aye, there's been something mounted here, folks, look. Whatever that is. This corner, look, here we go.
Yeah.
Look, folks, there's still the studs here sticking out of the ground. So in this corner there has been a piece of kit which has had a drain kind of bit of something like some sort.
Led to that.
Look, there's been something on the wall here. Yeah, that pipe maybe did, but I don't see why they would have, unless there's something underneath here. I don't know why they would do that. But it's been a fair size of a generator, I would say, sitting on there, like, because it's a beast of a shed, folks. Anyway, let's keep going with this adventure and see what else remains of the history from the World War Two period. And even on the side of this roof here, they've had the bitumen coating, or like, it's almost like a felty coating. Yeah. It's just blowing away in the storms now, that stuff. It's probably got a high like tar content there. But what a cool build. You can see the vents, how they have been big intakes, whereas that other shed that we originally thought was the generator shed, it doesn't have that same big intakes. So it is strange, folks. Strange history here at the airfield. Look at this. There's a train hurtling past as well on the main line there. It's all going on. It's a crazy bit of land. It's insane to, like, you never know what you're going to see, and I just love the character of that. It's just on its last legs and it's just about gone forever, folks. The wind here, folks, is just howling through, but we're at the next location along here, and just check it out. I'm not sure if this is an original World War Two hangar here, or if it is just something that somebody's made at a later time. But there is also another hangar kind of over there, and there is a chance it could be World War Two, but I'm not sure. We're more interested in the structures, and I believe this one could potentially be a substation. We'll hey watch it's not still connected up and putting power out. If it is a substation, that is, folks. Yeah, the last one I went had that as well. It's the same gate. So this is 100% been the substation, folks, where all the buildings we've seen have been to do with the creation of power for this place. So it's like potentially generator sheds and substations were kept going for longer after the airfields were abandoned and they didn't need to use them. Maybe stuff like this was kept going for longer just in case, for a period, and then eventually this was also abandoned. But that could be the reason the walls are most often standing. In Scotland, I've noticed that's a thing anyway. The substation buildings and the generator sheds are the last buildings that's been left there. It could be because those buildings didn't get handed back to the landowner the same way that the rest of the airfields did. Yeah, look, that must have been where the power came from, the massive transformer that would have been sitting here. What a crazy place. And then there's probably been wires leading up and then a pole. Just think, that's World War Two defences, which would have been round the top of this wall at one time. When the live electricity wasn't here and the substation was in use, you wouldn't have been able to stand in here unless you knew like what you were doing. Yeah, look at that, folks. You can see the old copper insulation on those wires. It's crazy. Look at that, folks. History of airfield power supplies. Look, there's even more coming up at this corner. Yeah, over the years it looks like there's some oil drums and stuff being couped in here. Oh, there's actually another platform here, eh? Look, here's the edge of it.
There's the wires there.
Oh, aye. Yeah, so there's been another device here, folks. Insane. And then if you look at the wires, not the wires, sorry, well there is barbed wire up there, but if you look what they've done beside that, look, the glass has been put in through the cement. It's like just to stop people climbing in here. And obviously if the airfield has been sabotaged, they would be trying to destroy the power supply and stuff. So it was made pretty much so you couldn't climb in safely. Yeah, that was something they did do with the cement and the glass, like, for safety. Anyway, I'll get a couple of pictures of this building. Look at this, folks. This is literally the scene here of abandoned Scotland. World War Two history. And even though the weather's extremely windy and a bit rainy, we've still been able to bring this video to you and show you something a bit different. And it's cool to see the old buildings and the way they used to make the stuff with the red stone. A time of an emergency for the country, defence of the country. And yeah, the runway at this Fordoun airfield has been one of the biggest I've seen, and I don't understand, well, there's so many things we've seen that look like plinths for like that, but this one I think would have been a substation, and then the other ones I think would have been the generators. And it's like I say, I think the power buildings were the ones that was left the longest. And that's the sort of history we ponder here, and we just look and see what's left, and we just can share it with the world. And check this gate out, folks. Yeah, so let's have a look at this old gate, folks. Just think, this was probably padlocked at one time, so you couldn't, any Tom, Dick and Harry couldn't be coming in here. The whole ground is cemented, but I think with these substations, they never had a roof over them. It was always just as you see it today. And then those metal bitties have been round the top to stop you climbing in. There's the wee thing for the gate to lock into. Check that out, folks. Wow, there's so many trains using this train line out here. Check it out. That's honestly like the 10th or 12th train we've seen since we came out. This must be an old hangar over here, I think, from the war as well. No, unless the farmers just had like a bit of a shed or something after the war. Yeah, this area here definitely looks like there's been something. But also with farms, with an area like this, there's often a lot of stuff kind of moved around or laid, or it's hard just to know exactly the World War Two stuff. But yeah, what a scene. Now that sun's actually starting to come out, it's almost like the day is changing. Here, look at that sticking up there. I just about stood on that. There's literally a massive nail there. So be careful if you're standing on that wood. That's the risk that we take on these adventures, and I felt it pushing on my trainer, and I was able to lift my foot back up, but certain scenarios, boom, that's a game changer, that, folks. You don't want to get nailed to an ancient historical wonder. So this here potentially is a World War Two hangar, because it does fit the size of the concrete pad, but I think it's maybe been changed and developed slightly over the years by the farmer. But literally to the farmer, we're coming with the greatest respects. We're documenting the history here, and we'll be on our way, because look at this ironwork. This is what I want to see. This is how these World War Two hangars used to be, and you hardly see it now. Like, that must be a mechanism at one time for the door. It's got these little rollers like the whole way along, so I think the roller doors would have gone. As you can see, it's in its last years of existence, folks. They maybe had originally like spare parts and stuff down the side, and then the main plane or whatever, or a couple of planes would be in the middle. But the boys, like, that's one of those grain dryers, and it's been crushed. The roof has totally crushed that right there. Insane scenes. But it's so interesting. That maybe isn't even the original hangar that was there or whatever, but it's certainly an old shed. And there must have been a hangar here if that isn't it, because that kind of is strange it would fit that cement so perfectly. I think that is the original hangar. But it's not as high as the hangar that I've seen at the Stracathro aerodrome. See, this might have been an actual mast, because it's like almost in two pieces. It could be anything though from the farm as well, folks. We don't know for sure, but they would have had communications and wee masts and stuff like that in a place like this. Who knows, folks? Look at this, folks. This is actually an intermission in this video. You've just seen us at the other side of this airfield, and since then we've driven round, because there's this here. We were going to end the video back there, but actually we're coming around here, folks, and check it out.
It's just the same.
This is another one of these buildings, another substation.
Danger electric.
Oh, aye. Look at that, folks. Crazy history. So that shows these electrical buildings and stuff on the airfields are the most, the ones that were kept for the longest. A lot of the other buildings were flattened and demolished. Apart from the runways, there's nothing really. See, look, yeah, electric cables. See, that could be a current. There's maybe still live cables under the ground and stuff in places like this. Yeah, this is insane, folks. Similar to what we saw at the other side of the airfield, but this one's got a lot less debris and like greenery growing in it. Wow. And then look, there's been stuff snapped off here, maybe like control boxes, or maybe that's been earthed in the frame. Mike, we saw the frames were earthed when we were at that microwave station at Canaber. What a scene, folks. Yeah, maybe for safety they smashed all the glass off the walls. And look, this has had something mounted at this corner with the little studs. You could hardly see it on the other one. And then there is pipes going for the wires. That must be where that's going out. Yeah, each side of it. So So yeah, another bit of history, folks. I'm going to take a picture of these bricks with the danger on them. This is crazy, folks. We were just noticing these grooves in the cement here, and we're thinking maybe the machine was either laid on when the cement was still wet, or maybe the weight of whatever was there, if it vibrated, maybe it eventually just eroded away and wore away at the cement. So who would know, folks? It's funny, eh? I always say that, who would know? Who would know, folks? People will know though, and we do know some of the stuff we're looking at here. Like, this has clearly been the substation. We just thought we had to stop because we're at the other side of what is like the main runway, because what we originally thought was the runway isn't. But this is crazy. Look, there's been cement bits going all the way around. Yeah, the wall has kind of been... there's a proper foundation. Yeah, check it out there as well, folks. The erosion on these bricks and stuff is just crazy. Look at that. Anyway, on with this video, folks. Look at the landscape, the dark colour of the sky at the side of the airfield. That storm's coming this way. We're ready for it. And look at the colour of the windmill there flying around in front of the grey sky. But yeah, cool history. Anyway, on with this video, folks. Look at this, folks, on this road, like roadside here, look, there's a 10-mile marker. This must be some ancient 10-mile marker of some sort. I've never seen a round one like this. But yeah, this is the road. We're still at the back of the airfield, but I just thought I would show you that. 'Cause how cool is that? The way that old number 10 scored at the top. Look at this, folks, we're still at the back of this airfield here, and we're just documenting a bit of history. This is another one of these World War Two buildings. Look at this, folks. I love seeing what is left of these World War Two buildings. It looks like this one may have been used for somebody's kennel or something, or somebody's shed. Oh, it's been well changed from the World War Two period. Wow. Look at the shape of this. It's sort of cement veneer on it. And I'm not sure originally like what it would have been. Obviously we'll always come with the greatest respects with like landowners and stuff like this, and maybe we can clearly see this is getting used now for somebody's shed, so we're not going to go in and like poke about with it and stuff like that. Again, we're simply just looking at the old structure from the World War II time, and yeah, since we were at this airfield it's so cool just to see that. And then on with this adventure. See, this is all airfield, I think. Insane. Anyway, back to the other bit of the airfield. When I've already recorded the outro of this video, but we've just added these bits in the middle, folks, so back to where we were. So it turns out, from looking at Google Maps and stuff, the main like airfield runway is actually over where those new buildings are that we saw when we were further up. And that'll explain why this runway is so long. It's because it's actually a side road. It was maybe put in to divert the main traffic during the war period, like away from the airfield. Or it could have been a main airfield like road in. But yeah, this whole area has been such a big airfield that it actually stretches over where that wind turbine and stuff is in the distance.
Building there is on the airfield.
Yeah, that massive building, folks. That I think we saw it when we were further up there, but it seems to be some offshore company. It's actually built right on top of the old runway, and it's a wide runway, and it goes kind of all the way from there.
That's the road that goes through the middle of the
Yeah, the main road still goes through over the top of the runway, and that's the main road over there. The runway continues on going away to there, but also there's a secondary runway leading the way up roughly where that wind turbine is, and it's all kind of like that private ground there. You can't get onto that ground because it's a private company, obviously, with offshore, whatever they're doing. It looks like pipelines and stuff like that, but we have been able to record some cool history and show you some cool stuff that we've been able to see. That's always an epic thing. But yeah, I'll end this video here. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you soon with the next adventure. We don't even know where we're going, but it'll be something cool. And yeah, goodbye for me, goodbye for Channel DJ. See you soon, folks.